for zooming in. If you don't know me, my name's Sam Laingen. I am the University Pre-Health Professions Advisor, and part of using DegreeWorks has been an evolution for me as the pre-health advisor because I work with a lot of different majors across campus and trying to help them fit in a lot of coursework that takes a lot of time into their degree plans. And so DegreeWorks has been really useful for me, and I've done a fair amount of playing with it with a lot of support from my degree certification officer, Angie Calthan, that I wanted to give a shout out to because she has taught me so much. So as you heard from the student panelists this morning, DegreeWorks is really helpful for them on their academic journey. And my full disclaimer is I'm still learning and playing with this. So this is a little bit of a brief history. In our old version of DegreeWorks Classic, we were able to create these degree templates. I literally found out Monday that as of February 1st, we could no longer access Classic, so we can't create degree templates. So the entire way that I knew how to create degree templates was gone, and we thought we weren't going to be able to do it in the new one, responsive. And then literally this morning at around 8:50, I figured out a workaround. So please be patient. This is not a smooth process for me yet either, but hopefully it'll show you some of the power that DegreeWorks has in helping your students create degree plans and shift those, because as we all know, things come up for our students and their plans change and our plans for them change. So we want to make sure that we're providing them with options for changing those, but so they can still plan out everything in DegreeWorks. So if you want to follow along in your own DegreeWorks worksheets, by all means, please do. When you log into DegreeWorks, it should be blank, and you would just have this box up here. And then you do an advanced search or you type in an E number, however you locate your students. And I have permission from Piper. She is Angie's daughter. So Angie and I play with her degree audit a lot in order to see how things work. So Piper knows at any given time her degree audit may be wonky. So Piper is a pre-pharmacy pathway student, but she is majoring in neuroscience. So when her degree audit initially comes up, as of this morning, this now pops up on all pre-health pathway students' degree audits. So it used to be, it said undeclared, and there was nothing down here. But now, along with their undeclared, they can see their specific pre-health pathway and all the prerequisite coursework required by typical programs in their pathway. As you will see, I have a lot of disclaimers up here that this is not your degree audit. This does not complete any major at EIU. This is simply to help you understand what you need for professional healthcare programs. I could see this being used for other professional programs as well, doing a page like this. I know nursing has implemented this for their pre-nursing students, which has been really helpful. And then we tell them how to get to their actual degree audit here as well. So by doing that, you go up to the degree and you pick Bachelor of Science because that's what their actual degree is in. So going into making a plan for students, instead of being on worksheets, which we're on right now, you go into plans and then select from the templates that hopefully you will be able to create after today. And so for Piper, we would have picked this pre-health pathway on the second page for prescribing professions. So we click that. Oh, I got to pick a starting term. When you pick starting terms, you always have to start with fall. It's a weird DegreeWorks thing, but we'll be able to shift those later. And so for Piper, we would have created fall of 25, pre-health prescribing clinical pathways. We select that, and it will show this template that I'm going to show you how to create today, where she can see all the coursework that she needs to take for that pathway in a prescribing clinical profession. And she can see that across the board. And since Piper's not a biology major, there's not a lot of coursework in some of the semesters because she needs to be able to fit in all her neuroscience coursework as well. So this is a skeleton for her to see what she needs to plan into her EIU degree to prepare for pharmacy school. So the workaround I found to make these plans is to go up under admin and hit template management. And it looks like you can create a new template. I got so excited this morning. I saw that. when you click on new template, you can create a name. When you go to term scheme, it won't let you pick anything. So it's not real. So I wanted to show everyone that we are not creating new templates the traditional way that DegreeWorks had allowed. What I need everyone to do is select test copy. And once you're in test copy, the first thing you need to do is hit save as copy and rename it. And so when you rename this, so I have several of these, I'll delete all of them to test copy.
Sam, can you go back? Sorry, can you go back over that? It was a little
Mhm.
fast and
Yeah, no, I appreciate that,
sorry,
Julie.
I'm already lost.
No,
So
you're good.
I
No,
apologize.
no, you're good. So again, when you're in worksheets, hover over admin and then test or template management. And then you're going to click on one test copy. And this is going to bring up a blank template. I intentionally created this so that nobody would accidentally delete all my other templates. So you're going to click on one test copy and then save as copy. And then you're going to rename it whatever you want it to be. So Julie, since you asked the question, I'm going to put early childhood ed. If I can type early. And then once you hit save, this is your template now. You are not editing the test copy. You now have your blank template right here. And then you can edit that. And so you, again, always have to do a false start, but you can shift that later. You can use this for graduate or post-bac or graduate programs. You're going to select the catalog year that you want. So for example, I have some older ones in here for biology from before we made our curriculum change for fall of 22. So if you have a curriculum change, you can edit your template and put that new catalog on there without having to create a whole new template. So pick the catalog year that particular curriculum went into effect. And so you can go back to fall of 2020 because that's when we implemented DegreeWorks on campus. That's all the further back you can go. And then you're going to pick your major. And I may have lied. I don't think early childhood is under this one. So I'm picking a random one.
No, it's up.
Up. There
Yep.
ECE.
Going.
No,
Oh, there.
just early childhood.
One more. Early childhood.
Okay. Thanks. So once you save that, now this template's going to be out there with the correct major listed, and making it active means that students and other faculty can find it. So anyone with access to our EIU DegreeWorks can access it. Now, I haven't gotten a chance, honestly, today to play with these optional tags, so I don't know yet. So I'm sorry I don't have that answer, but I didn't have time in the 10 minutes that I figured it out before the symposium started and over lunch to figure that part out. Now, adding courses is your next step. So questions there on just how to create your blank template. Awesome. I'm taking silence as a good thing today. All right, so now adding courses. You can do it in two different ways. It's really just however you prefer to click around the screen. You can do it over here by the blue with the course. And again, you have to start with a fall term, fall semester 1. And then you can put in a course requirement. So all of us have to have English 1001 for all of our students. So we put that in there, it pops up. Now, if it is critical for your students to take English in the first semester because of other sequencing, you can mark that as critical. For my students, it's not, so I wouldn't click that. And then you save it and it puts it here in fall semester 1. The other thing you can do is go under each individual semester and click the plus sign, and then it'll bring up all of the coursework as well. So again, we would type in ENG for English, scroll down, and then it brings up the list of English classes from there. And then we would add in template. It's already on there. So let me pick a different one that. Now you have to actually pick degree areas. So for example, fine arts, as you saw, doesn't bring up any classes because we don't have any classes termed fine arts. But if we want our students to take a fine arts general education that semester, great. Then we go up here and we pick art. And then if you just type in G, it helps sort. No, come back. Okay, I lied. It doesn't on this one. Sorry, as I said, I'm still learning this because this is not the way I created my templates. Then you select art, Asian art, add that to template, and it's on here. Now, for courses that your students aren't required to take, so your general education courses, we picked Art 2012 here. We can edit this requirement here or delete it and say, oh, we didn't actually mean to tell you you had to take that. You can actually have a choice in the fall semester and put an example course in here. So again, Art 2012G for 3 hours. And we can save this. And once it's in this semester, now we can put a note. Add a note, any fine arts general education. And then you can put the prefixes in there. So art, film, music, theater. I'm sorry, any art professors, fine arts professors, if I forgot you. That ends in G. So we can put that note on there, copy it to their plan. And now when they're looking at that note or looking at that course, they're like, oh, I don't want to take Asian art, but oh, there's a note. Wonder what that says. Oh, I can take any fine arts general education. So art, film, music, theater that ends in G. So we can give them information to clarify what a lot of students talked about this morning, that general education classes can be really confusing. So we can put that note in there as their choices to let them know. And then what I use placeholders for are for anything related to their degree requirements, such as EWPs or math placement test. So in fall semester, I want all of my students to, they have a list here to put in their EWP 1 so that they know that that's there. And then I called it graduation requirement so that they know, oh, I'm taking English 1001, I should look for an EWP in that. So that's just a little helper for them. And then it's really nice. You can just drag things to change the order, or, oh, I would rather wait until spring semester when they took English 1002G for them to turn in an EWP. Okay, great. You can drop and drag it over around. And then it's right there. If you want to put a note in on the electronic writing portfolio, such as 750 words written in English and complete sentences, so that they know what the requirement is. And you could even put in the EWP link right there so that they're like, what's an EWP? Even though I know we all talk to our students about it every single semester, that might help them remember, oh yeah, that's that thing I already wrote. So that's, in a nutshell, how we start to create these different templates, and that you can create them for the majors that you work with. Now, once you have your templates created, you can click on plans, and as long as you have that student selected, you can add a plan, select from template. And so say Piper decides she's not graduating this semester, she's just going to do a second bachelor's in biochemistry. We select that plan, again, have to pick starting term. And again, you always have to start with fall as your start term. That's just, again, that weird degree works thing. Pick biochemistry. And I already started playing with this morning. Great, this is what she would have to take in her first semester, her second semester, and then I put a note in the third semester. Oh, you should start looking for internships and undergraduate research experiences for that summer. So that's where you can just put a note within the semester versus on a specific course or requirement. All right, I flew through all of that. So let me show you also, when you click on the expand, it gives a friendlier view. Again, you can drag things to different semesters and do that. On this one, I know for biochem majors, it is imperative that they take 2310 in the spring semester because it's only offered in the spring. So when you click that, this requirement is critical, that's what it does. It puts that little exclamation point there. And so then when they click on more information, they can see all of it about that class. And then they can ask you, like, what does critical requirement mean? Or hopefully that will signal to them, you need to take it this semester because it's only offered in the spring semester. Also, if you want to rearrange them, you can't drag and drop. That's an annoying not feature. You actually have to delete these, and whatever you put in first in that semester will be at top. It just puts it in the order that you add the course each semester. So the drag and drop can go from semester to semester, but it cannot change the order within a semester. And then if you have a student that didn't start in the fall semester, as I said, you have to select fall semester. Say she was able to start in the summer semester on that second bachelor's degree, you just add a term, and then by picking either this term or the next one, it'll put it there. And it doesn't let you go into the future because this already takes it out to, I believe, 2030. Yeah, so it lets us plan out quite a few semesters before adding on. You just need to use the add term for a previous semester. So if you have a student that's a transfer student starting in the spring, okay, that means their fall coursework would change to a spring course. So then spring 25, and then you'll just drag and drop all that fall coursework over to the spring, as long as it's courses that are offered in the spring.
Sam,
Yes.
if you drag the selections you made, say, for that spring 27 into other columns and then put them back into spring 27, can you put them back in a different order?
Ooh, I didn't try that. That will move it to the bottom of the list. So if you wanted to drag all of these out of fall over into summer and then drag them in the order that you want them to be, yes, it looks like that works. So we have chem, and then we want chem lab. 13. Yep. We're making it think too hard now. There it goes. It will always keep these placeholders at the bottom. That is one of the nice features. It does keep those at the bottom, but then whatever order you drag it back into that semester, it will stay there. And what I like about this is I have a lot of students who are like, yes, I'm going to do all of these courses and it's going to be great. And then it doesn't go so great. So they need to be able to drag those to the future and they can see how those drag. Now, it does not limit according to what's offered. So for example, I know that Physics 1 is only offered in the fall, but it's letting me drag it to spring. So it doesn't actually show what's going to be offered. It's truly just a degree plan without any limitations or parameters to say, oh, that course isn't offered that semester. So for this, maybe whomever would be working with the biochem template would say only offered in fall semester and save that note and make this a critical course for the fall semester. So that way, when the student tries to move it to the spring, hopefully they'll read that note and be like, oh, I can't move that to the spring. That has to stay in the fall. And as you see, as I'm dragging and dropping, whatever I drag in last, as far as course goes, will go to the bottom of the list. And so a couple tips using the templates. As we start to use these, it will be really important that whomever students meet with their first semester, go ahead and add this plan for their first semester. That way, in spring semester, as they switch to other people, or if they change their majors, it's already where we want it to be. We don't all have to drag and drop to the other semester. So it would definitely be something that we would want to look at adopting on a universal basis. Otherwise, we're going to have to do a lot of dragging and dropping, which isn't a huge deal. It's pretty user friendly, but just to keep that in mind. And then if you ever want to delete things, all of these little 3 dots up in the right-hand corner will help. Now you can reassign the whole term, but as you do that, you have to make sure that, nope, just joking, that's not a feature. So that was a feature in Classic. So that, again, just makes it all the more important that whomever is working with these students in their first semester on campus, whether transfer, first time new student, anything like that, is adding this plan to their degree audit when they meet with them for the first time. And I think what could be really useful is, as the students say, when they look at those checklists, sometimes they're really overwhelmed. But as departments looking at working with these students in the future, if we can have these degree plans for them to look at, and they can kind of think about how they could shift things, or they're looking at this first semester and saying realistically, they don't think they can manage all this. Okay, maybe they could move English to the summer. And that way they just have that one English course to focus on the summer, which also lightens their load over here to 13 credit hours versus 16 on their first semester on campus. So I think it can be really useful for students to be able to absorb the information versus having it slapped in their face like, hey, here's all the classes you have to take. No, this breaks it down. Like, as Sarshay said, nope, let's just look at the next 2 semesters. Let's see what's being offered. Let's make sure we plan out your prereq for this semester to take what you want next semester, and can break it down into smaller bites so that they're not trying to eat the elephant in one bite. They're taking those small bites. Yesterday when Angie and I were working on fixing some other things in DegreeWorks and putting some other things in, she discovered a really great user manual from Missouri State, and it was on a public website. And if it's on a public website, to me, that means it's fair to the public. So it's like 120 pages, but it is really useful on all the different things and step-by-step how to create different things in DegreeWorks. I will say this workaround that I just found this morning is not in there, which I'm guessing they're doing that because they don't either want to tick off DegreeWorks, or they haven't discovered this workaround yet. So everything else for using DegreeWorks is in that manual. So if you want a copy of that manual, if you let me know, I can email it directly to you. A couple other things that my students don't always realize are in DegreeWorks, and if you don't play with the DegreeWorks a lot, that I always want to highlight is there's a GPA calculator within DegreeWorks. So you can see what are they taking the semester, their current GPA, and if they got a 4.0, they would boost up to a 3.78 from a 3.76. Or say they're really worried about not doing well in genetics, and they're like, I'm going to earn a C in that. Is that going to tank my GPA just before I graduate? No, literally, you're going to be at a 3.73 instead of a 3.76. So I use this a lot with students to help show them that earning a lower grade this semester, while not optimal and not what I'm encouraging you to do, is not going to end your academic career. Or on the flip side, when I have students who have been struggling, I try to use it as incentive. Like, look, if you can earn B's this semester, look at how much your GPA can boost up. See what you can do with it, and try to use it as a tool to lift them up and raise them up on motivation. And it's okay to not earn all A's, and you can still improve and do better. So I use that
Sam?
GPA calculator a lot. Yes.
Sorry, on this one, just know if they're retaking classes, it is not uh as accurate.
Right.
So you just have to, especially if you're doing like a SAP appeal or anything else, or
Mhm.
you're really close, like we have to have a certain GPA to get into
Mhm.
our education classes. I use this, but if I know they're retaking stuff, I really pull that other one that we have, just
Mhm.
because this one does not take into consideration if they're redoing something.
Yes, that is a great point. I truly only use this when I'm trying to honestly give pep talks on look what you can do with your GPA this semester, or look what's not going to happen to your GPA this semester. It's not going to fall that much. Definitely, I don't use this for SAPs, or I don't have them use this for calculating their GPA for professional program application. It's really, I use it a lot, as I said, as a pep talk one. And then the other thing here, I use the course history a lot with my honors students, trying to find their honors credits. So instead of scrolling through their entire degree audit, scouring for honors, for me, it just is visually easier to see it here because honors is that last word. So I just start looking for honors at the end of any of the coursework to try to calculate the number of honors hours that they've completed. So that's another one I like to use. I also like to use this when I get the emails of, I'm not doing well in this class and I need to drop it. Am I still going to be full time? I just go to their course history. Are you still going to be above 12? Okay, you're fine. No, you're not going to be above 12. What's that going to do to your financial aid or scholarships that you have? So I use that course history quite a bit with students up there. And again, to get back to the worksheets you're used to seeing automatically pop up, it's these up here. So worksheets are going to show their true degree audits. And then plans are going to be those plans that you've looked at with them or signed with them. And they can access the plans too. Like if you make them active, the students can pick to do them. So right now I don't have this prescribing clinical pathways active, so they can't find this. But once you make it active, the students can find those templates and they can add them on themselves. They see the exact same thing that we do in degree work. So they can add on plans. I actually had a student create her own plan because she was a CDS biology double degree. So she used the plan in order to help her plan out her degree coursework so that she could do both of those degrees and make sure she could fit all of it. So real quick, just again, quick summary. To create templates, go to admin, template management, pick this one test copy, and I intentionally named it as one, so it would always be at the top for everyone. Click on that, and then save as copy, and then you're going to create your own blank one from there. That way you have those templates out there for you and students to use versus them having to create their own plan or you creating individual plans every time. By having this template, it's just that it's a template, and then you can change it as you work with that student, or they can change it as they see what they want to be taking. And as soon as you click save on this page, you are working with a new one. So when I click save, this is my new template that I'm creating, and it automatically saves them. So if I go back up to template list, you'll see all of these that we've just been creating and playing with. So it automatically saves all of it. And I will delete these in order to not confuse anyone. And the other nice thing is, even if you created them in the past, so as I was playing with them, I have some old ones in here. I could either delete those or just go back and make them inactive. And if people choose to start making these, and there's a lot, you can search as well. So if I just want pre-health ones, great. Now I'm just going to see pre-health. So you don't have to search through all of those lists.
Sam, Brad Bennington has a question.
Yes.
Actually have a couple questions probably. So what was the difference between the plan and the template again?
So the template is what you're creating for people to be able to select in order to personalize their plan. So if you create a template as a department chair or an advisor of a particular major, that template will be listed here. When you're looking at plans, you can either choose to create a new plan, and then you can either select a template or a blank plan. So if a student's doing this, and they go in to look for a template and say they're an English major and Dr. Vieto hasn't had a chance to create a template, and they look through here and they're like, oh, there's no English ones. Okay, well, I can create my own plan from a blank plan. And so then they can say, oh, I'm starting in fall of 25, and then call it whatever they want. And then they save it and they can make their own plan. Now, students do not have this admin ability, so they can't create templates, but they can create their own plans within DegreeWorks. The templates are what the advisors or department chairs are creating based on their degree completion plans that they have put out there.
Okay.
Does that clarify
All right.
everything?
Okay, so the student says, oh, I want a plan, and so I can select from these templates over here, pull them in as a starting point or starting.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All
And so if you look at the templates that I've created for pre-health, they are exactly the same as the suggested courses of study from the checklists. It's literally taking that paper format and putting it into DegreeWorks for the students.
Sure. So the template is course based,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really not. It's really basically, I guess, generic to a new freshman coming in type of a scenario. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
not student specific in any way, and it's course based, not section
Correct.
based.
Correct. Yes. Now, full disclosure, it used to do what it's doing on Piper's right here, where it used to list out their major core requirements. And then you could drag and drop those, so you didn't have to go searching for everything. But my workaround doesn't use that on the new template. So if you are looking at any of the pre-health ones or all the other ones that had been, we do this and look at templates that other people had been creating. Then it may have some features on it that a new template wouldn't. Trying to look at ones. So over here, you can see the dates created. So if you look at this BS in health promotion, starting in fall of 25, have her start that. No, it's not. So it does some weird things that I can't explain yet because, as I said, I just discovered this workaround. But if you're looking at any of the pre-healths, it may have weird features that you can't put into your template. And I'm sorry, haven't figured out all of those yet.
So advisors or department chairs or what have you can decide, I want to build templates.
Mm-hmm.
They build them out. They they are term specific. So,
Yes.
right. So I guess when you're looking at that list, does it tell you the terms? So if I'm looking at BS and health promotion or whatever, there's going to be 6 or 7 of them in there. Does it tell you this one is fall 24, this one's fall 26, this one's whatever?
It will show you the catalog year that was designated by whomever created the template.
Okay.
So you can see
So
catalog year.
if I'm the student, I can see it.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Okay. Because that could make a difference, obviously.
absolutely. Absolutely. So
Sam,
as
do
I
you
said,
need-
like, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, do you need to make you don't need to make new templates for each start time. So say you made a template and it was starting fall of 24. You don't need to make a new template fall of 25. You can just use the old
As long as
and-
nothing's changed since that catalog year. You don't
and then
need
they
to-
can use the old template, but just the start date would be different.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. So they can select their starting term. So we could say, oh, Piper's coming here in fall of 28. Great. She would still be following this class. Why didn't I said that? Now it's not letting me. Let me see how far out it'll let it go. So it looks like it let me choose fall of 26. It wouldn't let me choose fall of 28. So I'm not sure exactly how far in advance it will let students pick. But it definitely let me
That's
go a whole
probably
year.
controlled by me, actually. So
Got it.
yeah, I mean, I could if we had to know, I could go into the
Which I wouldn't
setups and tell
necessarily
you. But
want students to be able to do that far in advance,
yeah,
because catalog changes are gonna possibly come through.
yeah, they're a few years out, and I can't remember how many, but and I roll new terms out every year on a rolling basis. So it's really up to the student and the advisor whether the student wants to build out one of these plans. Like that's sort of a up to them type of a decision. And it's specific to the student then when it does the plan. You know, they're going to
Yes.
manipulate that template or whatever, and they're going to work with that however they want. But it's really up to them then.
Yeah.
Because an advisor, my point being, is an advisor is not going to have time to sit there and build out a plan for every one of their students. I mean, they can
That's where
help build a
the
template, but then the student sort of has to be invested and they're going to, okay, I'm going to work on this.
Mhm. Well, the nice thing about the templates is we can put those on the student's audit for them. And then they can choose to look at it or not look at it every semester, but we can put it on there in their first semester. So when I go here and I select plans and I select new plan and pick a template as her advisor, I can pick this template. And now when she logs into DegreeWorks next time, she's going to see worksheets automatically because that's the first page that it goes to. But then if she clicks on plans, I'll let DegreeWorks catch up with me first. If she clicks on plans, she's going to be able to select that plan and see what her future semesters look like according to that template. And so maybe for her, she's like, oh, yeah, I'm not coming back to do biovet med. Forget it. I'm good with my neuroscience degree and I'm still going to pharmacy school. So it allows us to put that tool out there for the students. And then it's up to them to use that tool, like a lot of things that we do. Like the resource is there for them. We can pin it to their degree audit for them to look at as a plan. And it's really easy once those templates are created to do that versus if you don't use a template, then yes, as advisors, we'd be building this for every single student individually versus just clicking on template. Any other questions or things I can try to clarify? I apologize that I may be giving as many questions as I am answers today. It's pretty user-friendly from what I've been playing with it today. So I've really figured out how to build this literally since 8:50 this morning using this way instead. And I'm happy to hop on Teams meetings or Zoom meetings with anyone and see, like, if you run into any hiccups, see if we can brainstorm together and go with two heads is better than one, or both of us are just lost together in the dark. I'm happy to do that if anyone wants help. But as I said, I've just been playing with it since this morning, and it's pretty user friendly once I figured out how we could still create templates. Oh, there's something in the chat.
I have a question, kind of
Yes.
more directed probably at Brad. So when we're looking at the classes with the prerequisites and there's it feels like the entire history of the university of prerequisites and the classes don't apply currently or they're just not currently offered. Is there any thought of maybe cleaning those up a little bit so that way when we're helping students look and see what's required, instead of seeing a list of 20 classes, can we just see the current ones?
So you're saying you're gonna go to fall 26 and go to the course list. You and they want to see the courses that are normally offered in fall.
No, I'm looking at, let's say that we have to take like a public health class, and there's a prerequisite, and it's, the standard prerequisite that is required that we offer now, but then it also includes prerequisites that were previously offered. So instead of KSR classes, there also are listing KSS classes, things like that, where it's not in the current catalog. Is there any way to clean up this audit to make that a little bit more streamlined?
We're talking about like prefix changes and stuff.
Yeah, just like
Well,
if we're looking at like an exercise science major, and they
yeah.
have to take certain prerequisites, and it's just that was the old way that they were cataloged.
Well, I'm guessing it goes to the equivalency file because those courses are equated so that DegreeWorks knows if a student had either of these courses, they'll count for this requirement type of a thing.
Okay.
If
Right.
if we pulled that out, then DegreeWorks would not know. So if you had a student that
Gotcha.
had the KSS version, it would not know to plug it in there
Got
on their
it.
degree audit
Okay, that makes
type of a
sense.
thing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I'm continuing to play with things to try to help answer any questions. Thanvir, you said you had some questions. Do you want to throw those out to the audience? Hi, Sam. Are you able to hear me? I can't hear you very well. I'm sorry. Yes, so on the template management page, there's a delete option next to every template. If the test copy template is deleted, does it mean we would have to use other templates to build a new one? Yes, so please do not delete that one test template. If it does get deleted, I can definitely just create another one, which actually I'm just going to create a new one right now, just as a backup.
What terrible thing will you do to somebody that deletes your template?
Well, I
I guess we
wouldn't
should
know
put
who
that
it
out there.
was. I wouldn't know who it was, so I would not create a new test one. It said whoever messed this up can create a new test one and delete everything from one of the current templates. But yes, we would have to essentially just copy a new one and delete everything from one of the other. So the way I created this test copy was I literally went into one of my biology ones and deleted everything from it individually in order to create that test copy. That was a blank one for everyone to be able to use. And I'm excited. I see a lot of people have done some test ones, so that's awesome. And so again, if you create the test one and you want to delete it, totally fine. And I would ask that in order to keep this somewhat clean, if you have templates that are old and outdated, and you no longer have people in those catalogs, like you can delete that template. Any of them that you're just playing with, yes, please definitely delete, but you can go in there and delete those templates, and that's not going to affect anything on the banner end or the DegreeWorks end. It's just going to take that template as an option to select out. And then it said, can students alter their templates like we do? They can't alter templates, but they can alter their plan. So once we apply the template to their DegreeWorks audit, the student can move those classes all over the place within the plan, but they cannot alter templates. They can only alter their plans.
So just like everything else with advising, we can do our best and they can still self-destruct if they want to.
Yes, yes. And so they do not see this on their worksheets. So when they're on their worksheets, that plan is not there. So again, unless they go exploring and actually click on plans, they will never even know it's there.
All right, so we are running out of time for this session. I see that we have our breakout room presenters in here. So I do want to say thank you very much, Sam, for being willing to bring this to everyone's attention, for doing so much work behind the scenes on the ones you had already built, and then finding a workaround as we upgraded from the legacy to the responsive dashboard version of DegreeWorks. So I'm going to stop recording really quick.